Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Off the Clock podcast. I'm your host, Mark Boz, and we are back with yet another episode. Last episode, if y'all haven't seen it, we interviewed Jordan De Los Santos, softball player for West Texas A&M. But we are back it again with another interview here with a TAMUK football player, the very own Jeremiah Conaway, who helps anchors that defense that we have here in Kingsville.
Yeah, off the clock, never needed no wristwatch. Toast up, cheers to life, but this ain't no pit stop. Ayy, my words gon' get you to the top. Speak life into the mic like Mike at 90, pass me the rock. My words will touch thousands on the block, without a doubt, but she's a reassurance on me, we lie. Ayy, off the clock, baby, but we tuned in, dialed in. Feel like Cat, how we always winning, man. It's up.
Jeremiah, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know we were supposed to do this last week, but a little something came up. But now here we are and getting the interview done now. So I appreciate you for taking the time.
I'm very welcome, but I do appreciate you for allowing me to be on here. Very honored.
Yeah, man. Looking ahead of it, I was trying to think of somebody that I would like to have on the episode, and you're one of the people who came up first in mind because you've been here for a little while. You have that javelina in you. You had a pretty nice year this past year, and so whenever it came to choosing someone that I wanted to help represent TAMUK as one of the first players to, because you're the first player I've had from TAMUK on this season for the podcast. So I mean, for the first one, I wanted to be someone who the Javelina family could be familiar with, and you're the one of the first people that came in mind, and so I couldn't think of anyone better. So I appreciate you for taking the time to come. And so the first question I wanted to get into, man, uh, who is Jeremiah Conaway whenever he's not on the football field? Who is he? Who's this Jeremiah Conaway we have in our living room in his room right now?
I'd say Jeremiah Conaway is a very outgoing person. I tend to have my own cliques, but at the same time, I feel like it's easy for me to get to know people, whether that be people on the team, whether that be people in the classroom, or whether that just be people I come across throughout my day. Um, I love to dance. I love drawing. I like watching anime. That's one of the many hobbies that I have. I also like to do a lot with my family, very family oriented. I love going back to San Antonio, being with my mom and dad and my four siblings, because I am the oldest of five.
And so that was going to be my next question. You are from San Antonio, and how was it growing up for you in San Antonio, and being now that I know that you're the oldest? How was it being the oldest? Did it feel like you had to be a kind of that figure that your brothers can look up to? I mean, I'm the youngest out of my family. I got two older brothers, and definitely as the youngest, I always look up to my two older brothers. So, did you feel like you had to be that picture for them?
I definitely did. My dad always called me the bar setter, and I always took that very seriously. Being the oldest, I always wanted them to have somebody to look up that was a good example, because I knew that they were looking at each and everything that I did. Growing up in San Antonio, I've lived on the east side my whole life. Um, I went back from San Antonio to Yoakum a few times, but all in all, I spent most of the time on the east, and my parents did a great job keeping me out of a lot of things that the east has that other spots in San Antonio may not. They made sure I stayed in sports. They made sure I went to programs during the summer academically, whether that be for like STEM or whether it be for like engineering. And I feel like the East showed me that as a person coming from that side of town, you don't really have all the resources that everybody else does. But it always pushed me to be somebody to work and strive for anything that I want, because I know that if I was able to make it with less resources, once I do get those resources, I'll be able to thrive even more.
And you mentioned that your parents kept you in sports and try to uh, keep you active. When was the first time that football came around for you?
I was 7 years old, I believe. I was in at the end of first grade. Yes, 7 years old. I played for a team called the San Antonio Chargers,
Mhm.
and I also played for the Warhawks, but I wasn't with the Warhawks that long. I mainly played for the Chargers.
And was football the first sport you started playing, or was there another sport you started playing first?
So no, I as a kid, I didn't really like football too much.
Mhm.
I ran track and I played AAU basketball. And I played both of those since I believe third grade. So I started AAU basketball first because it was earlier in the year during the school year, and then I would do AAU track during the summers. So I played for I think three different AAU basketball teams, and then I ran for the same track team up until high school.
And which sport did you love playing the most? I mean, I people who can't tell, y'all don't know Jeremiah Conaway. You haven't seen him. I mean, he's damn near 7 feet tall. So it's not surprising when you hear him talking about basketball. Was basketball one of those sports that you really loved playing growing up?
Yes, but I was mainly a track guy, so I was big
Okay.
on doing hurdles and triple jump and long jump. So I love doing the hurdles. I did the 80-meter hurdles, the 100-meter, and then the 110 once I got all the way to high school. Me and my brother Rayshawn, who also comes to school here,
Yes.
we both did hurdles together. At one point in time, we were pretty high in the rankings regarding Texas and the nation. We both went to the Junior Olympics, which was had during like AAU track. We would go to
Mhm.
different places within the United States and have nationals there. My most prominent one that I remember is the year I was All American. I went to North Carolina A&T, and I was number 7 in the nation for doing hurdles. So I really loved doing hurdles when I was younger.
How did that feel at a young age to go and compete at that level and be named an All-American? How did that feel?
When I was that age, I didn't really understand it too much. Obviously, my parents could explain it to me, but I didn't understand what all really like went into it. I didn't
Mhm.
realize how many people were doing it, and I didn't realize that I just happened to be one of the people at the top during that time. So I was just enjoying the experience because I was leaving Texas, getting to explore North Carolina and different places like that.
And when was it? When was that transition as you were growing up and getting into high school that you started leaning into football becoming your true number one sport?
So I played seventh and eighth grade year. I'd say my transition came right after COVID because COVID happened my freshman year of high school. So I didn't play football
Hmm.
my freshman year of high school. So right after COVID being my sophomore year, I was playing defensive back for our school before I started playing like receiver and anything like that. So I was starting as a defensive back. And my dad would take me to FBU um, around that time before I went to actually any like college prospect camps. And then my sophomore year, Coach Will, he took me to a camp at the high school San Marcos, and I played that camp as a cornerback, and I did pretty well in it. And I told my dad that's something I wanted to continue to do. I really enjoyed doing that. And so once I finished that sophomore season of football, I ended up taking football more serious than any other sport that I did because I fell in love with the position defensive back. I felt like it was a very intricate position because you're always at a disadvantage until you make yourself at an advantage. And I felt like that
Hmm.
just tied into life very well for me.
And do you feel like your size, or what was your size? How big were you at the time during that time in high school?
Ooh, okay. So my sophomore year, I was around 5'10". I think I was probably about like 140, 150. I didn't actually hit a growth spurt until that summer going into my junior year. So that
Hmm.
summer going into my junior year, I went from 5'10" to 6'2", all within, I think, June and July, and then the beginning of August. And then once I got to 6'2", I was around 160. And then from my junior to senior year, I went from 6'2" to 6'3", and then I got to about 165. And then my senior year of high school, I was 6'3", 165 throughout that whole season.
And do you feel like your size it helped you at that time as a defensive back?
Oh yeah. Not only as a defensive back because I was playing receiver as well. So my team needed me to be a deep threat and go make big plays down the field. So I had to do that. And then being a defensive back, most of the receivers I was going against weren't necessarily my height, nor had like the reach that I have, along with like
Hmm.
the athleticism that I got from both of my parents. So I think it helped a lot, especially when I did start going to college camps. Coaches really liked my size, and those camps are based on what you can do, but more so of your potential. So,
You mentioned that you got your athleticism from your parents. Did they play sports also growing up, or what were some of the sports that they were into?
so my mom was going to play volleyball at the collegiate level, and then she had me, so she didn't end up playing. And
Hmm.
then my dad played football, and he was going to play football at the collegiate level, but then they had me, so uh, they both put that aside to take care of me and build me in the best way that they could. My dad also did hurdles and track. My mom ran track as well. She also played soccer. My dad played basketball as well, and he ran track also, like I just said, with the hurdles. So yeah,
Hmm.
very athletic background. Not only with my parents, my grandparents, aunts and uncles, great aunts and uncles.
And you mentioned your brother, he's here also. And obviously the athleticism went down to him, you, him. Did it go down with all your other siblings? Did they also play sports?
Oh yeah, all of us have played sports so far. My brother right now he plays linebacker here, but he was a running back his whole time in Stanton High School. He's a pretty stocky guy, but he's also he jumps very high, and he's
Hmm.
also agile. My sister, she's a year younger than him, so she's about to be a freshman in college. She played basketball and volleyball, and she ran track. She's taller. I think she's around 5'9", 5'9" and a half. But
Okay.
she's pretty tall for a lady. And then my sister underneath her is 2 years younger than Alicia DeAsia. She's a thrower. She did really good this last year with track. She made it all the way to regionals for throwing shot put. And then I think she made it all the way to area for discus. And then she plays basketball and soccer as well. And then I have a little brother named Jared. He's just turned 12 in June, but he's like, I don't know how tall he is, but he's taller than everybody in his grade at school. But he's also
That's
bigger, so he's like a perfect mix of like me and Rashawn. And he's always been fast growing up, so I'm pretty sure he still has that speed. But he wants to play soccer, but he's getting ready to play football now, and then he'll do basketball. But he really wants to play soccer.
So I want to get into your senior year of high school. I have some stats here pulled up from Max Preps. You finished the season with a total of 40 tackles, and I mean you had 6 interceptions throughout that year, and that's just on the defensive side. On the offensive side, you helped out. You had 45 receptions for uh over 650 yards and 6 touchdowns going along with that. How was your senior year of high school for you? How did that season feel and playing at that level?
It was a weird season simply because we ended up finishing I believe 5-6, including that first round playoff. Uh, I feel like our program took a step because our school was fairly new. I think our school just hit about like 12 years old, so we haven't been around too long. But that was the first time we had a season over, I think, 3 wins. So it was better than the seasons I had before my junior sophomore year. I feel like I
Mhm.
just played a very big role on helping our program take the next step, and having better years down the line. But I really just wanted to focus on making sure that I was doing as much as I could for the team because I cherish going to the school that I went to because that's all I had to do since seventh grade. So I really enjoyed the season, and I also do wish it would have went better than what it did. But it was fun playing alongside my brother as well.
And throughout that time, what was your recruiting process like? Did you have a lot of teams reaching out to you? What were some of the decisions that you had to make and stuff like that?
So my recruitment process coming out of high school was a little weird. I didn't really get into knowing about like having Twitter or having like a profile on like apps like NCSA, different things like that until the winter of my junior year. That's when I had
Mhm.
started playing 7-on-7 for a team called Elite House in San Antonio. And a lot of the coaches that I had during that time were helping me get a Twitter going, what I needed to post, what things I needed to send out to coaches regarding DMs and or emails. So leading up until that senior year, it was a very big process for me as far as reaching out to as many coaches as I can because no coach really knew what school I went to until me or my brother had started doing what we were doing. So it was a little bumpy starting off. Obviously, as somebody that wanted to be sought after, go to like a big school, you get a little impatient with things sometimes, or you feel like people are overlooking you. But in reality, I was definitely blessed. I think I ended up having around like 14 total offers, a few Division One. I had a few D2, and then I had a few D3 NAIA. So I feel like I had some in each spot. And I'd say that the process was really fun. I enjoyed it, especially going on visits, getting to talk to different coaches, see how much they value their teams and or me as a player trying to come in and be in their program. I definitely connected with a lot of coaches, not only as a coach and player, but as people, as a person. And I'd say it was a very good experience overall.
And how did TAMUK come to become the place that you would wind up calling home for your college career? When did we get into the picture?
So y'all got into the picture my junior year, going into my senior year that summer. Um, One of the former defensive coordinators had came to one of the like school 7-on-7s we had at I think it was at either South San High School or Kennedy High School where we had the tournaments, and he had talked to me there. I got in touch with him because of one of the coaches for the school that we played against. He went to Kingsville, and he had told me he was going to talk to that coach for me, and he ended up doing so. And once I got in contact with that coach, I ended up getting in contact with Coach Moden first, and then I got in contact with Coach Bish second, and then I down the line ended up getting to meet Coach Salinas. But I didn't end up meeting Coach Salinas until I think February, towards the end of my senior year. So Kingsville popped up around that time, and then throughout that senior year, they were sending me things like in between like games and everything. But me truly considering them as a school I wanted to go to came when I had took my visit. I think I took three different visits. I took one my at the beginning of my senior year. I took one towards the end of y'all's season, my senior year, and then I took an official visit when it was the off season, and then I think I came to the spring game as well during like March, April time.
And what was one of the factors that made you choose TAMUK to be the place for you?
I said a key factor was the realness the coaches gave to me. Um, Coach Bish and Coach Moden laid it down for me as it was going to be. And I didn't see any differences once I came and took my visit. They told me what to expect. They told me what they would expect out of me as a freshman coming in. and them saying the things that they said made me feel like I could trust them going into this process, because a lot of coaches can tell you what you want to hear and not really mean it. But they
Mhm.
told me things were that I felt as important and or valuable going into being a freshman in college and trying to play on a collegiate team.
And for you coming to TAMUK, was there any kind of like major adjustments that you had to make for yourself? Because obviously you're probably moving away from family for the first time in a while, even though they're not too far away, like you said, from San Antonio, probably two and a half hour drive from here. What would you say was one of the biggest adjustments that you had to make coming to college?
I'd definitely say adjusting back to it not being too big of a city. Like I said earlier, I did live in Yoakum for some time, but that was mainly when I was younger. So I've been used to being in a bigger city all my life. Um,
Hmm.
I would definitely say it wasn't too hard adjusting academically, because the school I went to provided college courses, so I was able to take college courses throughout all of high school. I'd also say just the different food places, a lot more Mexican food places that are really good. But I'm a barbecue guy. I love barbecue, and a lot of barbecue places that are in San Antonio. Not as many here, but I definitely say those are the two biggest things, just being in a smaller city and then the food for sure.
And on the football field, were there any major adjustments that you had to really make? Because I mean, a lot of people they talk about. I mean, it's just a different game. So, was there any kind of major adjustments you had to make on the football field for yourself?
Yes. First being IQ wise, in high school, watching film and dissecting teams wasn't something that I was doing as much as I do now.
Hmm.
Coming into college, it's a lot more IQ than people think. It's a lot more mental than people think. Simply because the game is moving faster. With the pace being so fast, you have to be able to know certain things that'll give you an edge when everything is going at the speed that it's going. Secondly, I'd say my physical. I came into college at like 165. I've just recently got up to 200 pounds. So getting bigger was the main thing, just putting on size. Definitely getting faster, because coming out of high school, I wasn't necessarily the fastest guy. I've always had a stride, but I wasn't necessarily the fastest. And then I'd say, as far as physicality, the physicality is different, because you're literally going against grown men every single time. Like, you're just getting out of high school and you're playing guys that have already been curated to the weightlifting program, curated to diets that they need to get to the goals that they want to achieve, and different things pertaining to that. So I'd say those were the main things that I had to adjust on the field wise.
And in your freshman year, you saw a little bit of time on the field. What did you gain? What kind of experience did you gain from your freshman year uh, that really helped you going into your sophomore year?
I'd say getting over that first game jitters, most definitely, because the first game I played in, we played UTPB. Um, and the hype around that game was really big, because I think the year beforehand we had ended up losing to them, and it was a game that we wanted to get back.
Hmm.
And I ended up having to guard one of the players that was like highly sought after in D2 as a receiver, and Jeremiah Cooley. And so it was very eye opening to me, and it was a great experience, because I got to experience traveling to a far away game. Because in high school, you're not traveling usually more than like 2 hours and a half, maybe three on like some days. Actually, we took a bus ride all the way over there. It was about, I think, 8 to 9 hours. So I had to do that. Never traveled and like really stayed in a hotel or had like
Hmm.
team dinners in per se, to that as well. And then I would also say just the reps. The more reps I got, the more comfortable I got. And the more comfortable I got, the less I had to think when I was out there. and that allowed me to build confidence each and every week going into the next game. And I feel like that was very big with this past season I just had because I came into the season knowing that I can do each and everything that my team needs me to do because when I was younger, I was able to get in with those guys and see them do what they needed to in order to provide for the team and also be able to partake in it as well to an extent. So
And that's the next thing I did want to talk about. This past year, you had a pretty damn great year. I mean, you had 40 tackles. Uh, you had a tackle for loss. You had a fumble recovery. You had an interception. You had three pass breakups. What was it about this year that really helped you stand out and grow from the past year?
I definitely say the trust my teammates had in me coming out of the summer. So I spent this past summer before the summer and now currently here as well. So I was down here doing the workouts with them, doing drills, lifting, just spending time with those teammates. And I feel like those teammates were able to trust me going into games because they had seen the work that I put in, knowing that the work that they were putting in, I was putting in that exact same work. Having a position change, it took me a lot more being in a playbook, trying to figure out how to navigate being a safety after being a corner. And I feel like me having those one-on-one times with certain teammates, me watching film with certain teammates and dissecting past games also gave me an edge coming into the season. Just knowing that I'd be doing it from a broader view, not so much up close to the line. So being able to see everything in the back end. And then I would just say me understanding that I done already came from so many different things, like experiencing injury coming into my freshman year. I didn't participate in fall camp. I had to get over the hump once I actually got cleared. Me experiencing just a spring ball for the first time because I didn't have it in high school. The spring ball helped with me excelling from the player I was that fall up until the summer, just helping me get more reps and taking lessons and not losses because in the spring, you're not playing against nobody but yourself. So that's the main time where you can learn and build as a player. And then lastly, I would say just the coaching staff that we had, the coaches being able to believe in me, knowing that I come to do what I say I come to do each and every day. So
And when you're on the football field, I mentioned this year you had an interception. Your freshman year, you didn't have one. What was that feeling like whenever you got your first interception in the game?
it was crazy because I think it was the first game of the season, very first game of the season, home opener.
Yes, it was.
Um, it was it was amazing because I had knew the call we were in. I was robbing backside of whatever it was because they had motioned away from the field side that I was on. I had knew the concept that was coming because we had been watching film and breaking it down. So once the quarterback actually threw it, it was like a surreal moment because I didn't know if he was going to throw it or not. And so when he threw it, I dived out, caught it, and honestly, I just didn't know what to do. My celebration was me, I guess, getting crunk. I didn't really have nothing planned, so it was very surreal. It was definitely a moment that I want to have happen multiple times again. So
Now, for this coming year, do you have a celebration in mind that that now you would have in the bag, get ready for?
off the top of my head, no, but obviously I'm gonna try to take some time out to have some type of celebration for when it comes, so that it doesn't just look like I'm just crashing out on the field. Something more structure.
So I wanted to talk about this Western Oregon game. I mean, you came in and you had yourself a performance. You had nine total tackles throughout the game, seven solo tackles. You had a tackle for loss. Uh, and then you had also had a pass breakup during that game. What was it about that game that you did you feel like you were just locked in at another level during that game, or what was it?
I wouldn't necessarily say I was locked in at another level. I would definitely say that the coaches had moved me around more with position wise. I was closer to the box that game. Me and
Mhm.
my former partner in the back end, DCAM, we had rotated a lot more that game of from boundary and field and strong and free. So that allowed me to be closer to the ball and come up and make certain tackles. I would definitely say just being big on film, knowing that this was a team that I played my freshman year, understanding that they were a run heavy team, that
Yeah.
I would have to come up and make tackles. And then as far as the pass deflection, just understanding that they would try to hit us over the top, try to catch us sleeping, but just making sure that I stayed honed in on whatever assignment I had.
And being at TAMUK, one thing that I've talked to a lot of people about uh, previously and still now, one thing that I feel like TAMUK has been known for a lot is its defense. Uh, I feel like we've always been a heavy defensive team. You look at some of our Hall of Famers that have come here, and we got three Hall of Famers in the NFL that are on the defensive side. So I feel like defense is still one of the major things uh for our university and our school. How do you see the personality out of the defense this past year, and what is it about the defense that you love to see?
I definitely say we ooze confidence. No matter whether it be us in a bad situation or a good situation, we're gonna have the confidence to go out there and feel and know that we are gonna be the ones to make that play for our team. I would definitely say over this past year, even up until now, I feel like with the coaching staff that we have a phrase called BDE, and I'm pretty sure most individuals know what that means. I'm not going to further speak on it, but it's just something that we got to walk around with each and every day, just understanding that we got to walk what we talk. And in order to walk what we talk, we got to have the confidence to do it first. And so that's really what I love about our defense. Our defense is going to come with some swagger, and we're going to come being physical. And I really love defense as a whole because you're protecting something. Offense
Mm.
is going and attacking something, but we're protecting something. So I really, as a man and as somebody that wants to have a family in the future, being somebody that protects something, not only being a person, but a team or like something that I represent, I take pride in that each and every day.
And a game I wanted to highlight, uh, showing the defense. The game I wanted to talk about was our game this year against Angelo State. We
Hmm.
hadn't beat Angelo in about, I want to say it was about 13, 14 years. I don't know the exact number. But this year, they come into the season, they're ranked. They're supposed to be these heavy hitters in our conference and in the nation. But we go ahead and we beat them 24-19. The defense makes so many plays and so many key moments to whether it's a fourth down stop or whether it's a big third down stop. What was it this game? Did it feel more personal knowing that Angelo was on this win streak over this team, and it just felt like we had to finally beat them. And did y'all feel it going into this game?
So personally, I wouldn't say it was anything personal for me, obviously, because I take each and every game as the same. Because I don't know if I'm gonna have a next game. You know, not every day is promised. But as a team, you can definitely say that we were feeling it. You can definitely hear guys talking about it in the locker room, guys saying how much they wanted it, and just going into the game with a mindset that was all on the same page. Us all understanding that yes, this is the next team that we're playing, but this next team that we're playing is a team that we haven't been able to get over the hump on, and we wanted to be the ones to get over that hump and. God willing and fortunately we were. So yeah.
And next, I wanted to talk about was that DB room. I mean, you mentioned one of your former partners, DCAM, who went on and transferred to D1 level, and we've had a few other defensive backs that had been stellar on this team. What is it like playing with some other high caliber players alongside you? What is that feeling like?
It's great because it's constant competition. And growing up, I was instilled with um, thriving in competition and pursuing it because the person next to me is gonna make me better, and I'm gonna make the person next to me better. So it was great. I'm definitely picking from each other, picking his brain on certain things, and then also seeing what it is that he did to get to the area he was in, and or my other teammates, having guys like DeMarcus Peters, who was somebody that had a really good season. I actually spent that summer before that season with him, so I got a lot from him, put in a lot of work with him. And I would definitely say the main thing just be in competition. We going to make each other improve each and every day.
Yeah, DeMarcus Peters, thank you for bringing him up because he slipped my mind. Immediately after I finished my question and you're answering in my head, I'm like, oh, DeMarcus Peters too, another guy who went
Yeah.
on and transferred to the D1 level. So we've had some talent on the defensive side, and so I mean, you're completely right. That just brings another level to you to feel like you got to perform at a higher level because whenever you got all this talent around you, it's only to you get better. Iron sharpens iron, as people like to say. So, did you feel like that had a lot to deal with it for you in that room?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because I felt like I had to uphold a standard that was set, and with them being older guys in that room, they had a standard that we all need to play to, and I felt like it was a standard that I wanted to not only play to but excel at. So it just made me want to work harder each and every day, seeing them and seeing the work that they put in.
So recently, uh, Javelina football, they just released a post saying that you will be one of the defensive players representing TAMUK at this year's Lone Star Conference Media Day. You will be there alongside Christian Pretz on the offensive side and Coach Parr. What does it feel like for you to be named as one of the guys to go represent this defense? Last year, we saw that they had Doug Brooks there and now you're going to be the guy to represent that defense. What does that feel like?
I'm definitely honored. It's definitely a blessing to be able to do that and represent the school that I'm currently at as such a high stage. I take it wholeheartedly that it is something that I get to do and just be in front of those other teams and be in front of the whole conference as a whole and to be able to say that I was one there to represent our defense.
And looking into next year, as we're getting close and close by the week. Every week that passes, we're getting even closer. What are some of your personal goals or goals as a team that you have going into this next season?
First of all, I just want to be better than we were the season before. Just always want to be able to improve on myself each and every day. I definitely want us to be able to go out there and do something that our team hasn't done in a while. Obviously, I don't want to make no promises, but I do want us to be able to be a team that is highly sought at the end of the season in the conference. I would love to make it to the playoffs, of course, and compete for a national championship. And personally, I would just say just be better than I was the year before, be able to be a leader for the defense on and off the field constantly, and be able to uphold what it is that I need to for Javelina Nation.
And so the next question I want to ask, and it's a question that maybe not many people want to think about while they're still in their playing career, but a question that you need to ask yourself at some certain points. I had to ask myself this after high school. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play at the collegiate level. Uh, Whenever your college career is done and you're done playing, what what do you want people to remember you as a player or as a person?
As a player, I want them to
As a
remember
player,
me
I want
as one that is played the game the right way, went out there and gave his all, left nothing on the field. Somebody that was able to go make plays and be electric. As a person, I want people to remember me as somebody that was caring, being able to talk to, not somebody that was necessarily like stuck up or in his ways. I want people to be able to see me as somebody that they were able to trust and or just be able to talk to. Um, and as far as what I plan on doing after college, I want to do something in the medical field pertaining to homeopathic psychiatry. I feel like mental health issues is something that's very big, something that a lot of people need help with. And I feel like it's a very important thing to hone in on, especially as humans all dealing with different things in our life. We're all going through something that may have caused it or something that may have been passed down by family and or lineage. So yeah.
And Jeremiah, before we get out of here, is there anybody throughout your life or throughout your time here or in high school or growing up, are there anybody that you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of different people that I would love to say because I had such a great supporting cast. First, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, just allowing me to be here, uh, planting me within my parents' lives so that they could build me up to who I am today. I would like to thank my parents. I love them dearly. I would also like to thank my family as a whole, because there's a lot of different people in my family that have played a role to me getting here today, whether that be um, physically and or financially or different things like that. I would like to thank all the coaches I've had. I don't think that I've ever just had a bad coach. More so on the end of me playing AAU basketball and AAU track. I had really great coaches in both of those sports that helped me develop a thick skin, but also understand that with me developing a thick skin, it's always about the message over the tone. I would also like to thank a lot of the teachers that I had throughout middle school and high school, um, being very, very big on me making sure that I stayed on top of my academics, because without academics, I wouldn't be able to be here right now. Understanding that there's a lot more to life than just football. And I would like to just thank the coaching staff that I'm currently with, the coaching staff I had last year and my freshman year, just always instilling in me confidence, always letting me know that there's so much more that I need to work on and that there's no such thing as being a perfect player. There's always something I can improve on, whether that be on the field and or off the field. And so it's a lot more people I can thank specifically, but that's the gist of it so far.
And actually, I got one more question. I mean, I can't believe this. I had it in my mind. I forgot to put it down, but I had it in my mind, and he'd probably say something if I didn't end up asking you this question. How does it feel being able to play with your brother also here? Rayshawn Conaway, as you mentioned, is a linebacker here. How does it feel being able to play alongside your younger brother?
It's amazing, especially since it was something I did in high school. You know, these are conversations brothers have when they're younger, things you dream about being able to play at the collegiate level with your brother. Getting to experience this past spring with him where we actually got reps, a lot of reps together. Um, Ironically, we are on the same side of the defense. He's a will and I'm a boundary safety. So we gonna work together a lot on that side, but it's great. I love having him here school wise as well. Having somebody that I grew up with, somebody that knows me and somebody that I know. And yeah, I really just love having him here.
Well, alrighty, man. That's all I got. I appreciate you coming on and being on this podcast. It was a great conversation. For everybody who would like to go follow Jeremiah on Instagram, it's jway._. Go give him a follow. Uh, an awesome person. I've spoke to you a few times outside of here, and I've seen you hoop there at the the rec every now and
Yeah.
then, and so make sure I don't get on the court with you unless I want to lose. But if not, hopefully you're on my team. But I appreciate that you're on my team on the football field, so I do like to see that. So again, I appreciate you for joining me, man.
And thank you again for having me. I really appreciate it getting to connect with you and talk to you on a more personal level about things that I have done and things that have gone on in my life. I thank you again for having me on here.
clock, never needed no wristwatch. Toast up, cheers to life, but this ain't no pit stop. Ayy, my words don't get you to the top. Speak life into the mic like Mike at 90, pass me the rock. The words will touch thousands on the block, without a doubt, but here's a reassurance on me be lying. Ayy, off the clock, baby, but we tuned in, dialed in. Feel like Cat, how we always win.